Good morning.
Morning.
Is everyone here back there as well?
Yes.
Yes, is that a yes?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, so before I begin my talk, I'm hoping that I sound sexy and not sickly. I'm dealing with a head cold, so we'll see how it comes across. I have my water and I have my Ricola here, just in case. So, life is like a puzzle. Most of you that have been to my talks, you know how I love metaphors, right? So, a lot of my talks, actually, I can sit there and try to make a decision, you know, with my logical mind, this is what I'm going to talk about today, but it doesn't happen that way. It just comes like a download. 5-10 minutes and it's there. And there's this nudge like, you have to do this, you have to do this. So it's like, okay, fine. Anyway, where do we fit in this puzzle called life? We are unique in every way, and diversity is obvious with us humans and everything else around us. Yet, we're always looking for a way to connect. There's this sort of innate feeling within us. Whether we're aware of it or not, we need to connect to each other and to nature and just to connect to our world. I feel like there's always this force, this energy that pushes us towards making some connection. When I first came to the United States, talk about trying to find my niche and make a connection and fit. It was, needless to say, challenging and lots of bumps in the road. You know, I had a heavy accent, I looked different, from a whole different culture, so it took a lot to try and find my niche. And each time, the great thing about it was that I learned something. I grew from that, and then I could just keep moving along that road till I can find the places where I fit. I'm sure that many of us have had that experience, a feeling that we don't quite fit in a particular situation. Has anyone ever had that experience? Yeah? I figured. But yet we keep trying to find that niche, and sometimes the forces pushes us away from situations that we're drawn to by causing friction and challenges. It's like trying to force two pieces of a magnet together, you know, when you hold the wrong sides. Have you ever done that? Yeah. You know, and you keep trying to push it together, but it's not going to happen. It's kind of like that. And the energy just makes us feel sort of separated. Sometimes we're inclined to stay and fight with the forces, and sometimes we give up and we walk away. Only you can decide, because your life path is unique. And I think we can all agree that we do learn through our challenges, and hopefully we do, and that we can grow and then maybe try to find that other space where we might fit. But the wisdom comes in knowing the difference. There's a time when we need to leave a situation or relationship, and at other times we do need to write it out. And so the wisdom comes in knowing the difference. What happens when we stay in a situation that feels like a constant challenge? Have you guys ever been there? Any kind of relationship? Yeah? That feels like it's hard work? You know, it might be trying to fit that piece of puzzle together that just doesn't belong. But we may try to force it, and it never feels quite right. But some of the questions that we might ask ourselves are whether we are in this challenging situation, or personal, organization, or group, whether this is stifling our growth, or whether it's helping us to grow as an individual. And I think that's the most important question that we can ask ourselves. So, how do we know where to go? Which direction is right for us? It would be nice if, you know, we had an illuminated path set out before us. Wouldn't that be awesome? You know, it's like, hey, you know, just one one foot in front of the other, and we just keep walking towards that illuminated path. It's no simple task. Think about the process that you go through to find where the pieces fit when you're trying to complete a puzzle. So I've done all different types of puzzles, easy ones and ones where it took weeks to finally figure out one little piece. So as you struggle to make your next move in completing the picture, you might step back so that you can see the whole picture, right? That's what we kind of do. Sometimes we're so close to things that we get buried in it and we can't really see the big picture. What's that saying about can't see the forest for the trees or something like that? So sometimes we need to step back, look at the whole picture, and then we might get some ideas as to where we fit, where this piece fits. You might even slow down your movements a little bit, slow down your thinking mind a little bit, and create visuals in your mind to help you sort out the next puzzle piece that you're holding in your hand. Sometimes you figure it out immediately, and other times you might have to even look deeper. Again, metaphorically speaking here. So you consciously or unconsciously drift into a quiet space where you find clarity, and then you have that aha moment as to where you place your next piece of the puzzle or take your next step. So metaphorically speaking, life is like a puzzle and also like a box of chocolates, as Forrest Gump said. I agree with Forrest Gump. We have experiences that keep leading us to some completion, to some wholeness. Sometimes we're unaware of this invisible force, this drive to try and fit. But by making the choices that either allow us to ride out a challenging situation that help us grow, or allow us to move forward so that we can continue to grow, we then begin to feel whole. A kind of joy in recognizing this, a victory, if you will, because you did it. You made choices and took responsibility. And I'm going to say this one again because I think for all of us, this is one of the toughest things, is to make a choice and take responsibility for that choice, as to your next move. Because this has to come from deep within. I mean, we can talk to other people, we can, gather information, that's great. We need each other to lean on sometimes, but really when it comes down to it, the next step you take, the next move, the choices you make, has to come from deep within yourself. That's where the answers lie. So you trusted, you took action, and now you begin to see beyond your own puzzle piece, if you will, your journey. You've been struggling with, and you notice the bigger picture. As a matter of fact, every once in a while, when you step back to view all the pieces to this life puzzle, you begin to see where others fit, and where everything else fits around you. And you realize something very important, that it all begins with you. It all begins with you. First, you must get your own house in order, metaphorically speaking, finding your niche. Because you are an important part of the big picture of this puzzle of life, each one of you. Once you figure out your path and where you fit, then you can come together with others, finally fitting in your niche effortlessly, just like the right sides of that magnet. Finally, when you put those two sides together and it just comes together, that's what it will feel like. So think about that magnet next time you're trying to fit into a situation that doesn't feel quite right. Is it coming together or is it being pushed apart? You may find that you fit better in some places than others. Or sometimes you find that, just one place is fulfilling. Maybe like CSL. I know I've found my niche here. I feel like I fit. It can take a lifetime to find where you fit, and how everything is here to help you find that space. Everything. And what I mean by that is that it can be challenges, it can be, whatever you want to call it or name it, good or bad. Everything is here to help you find your niche, your space, where you fit. So just think about that when you're struggling with something. But if we can change our thinking and see this game, this puzzle, life, as an adventure, we can experience joy with every move we make, one step at a time. Also actually when we're in a social hall, I created a puzzle. Would you mind holding that up for me, Veronica? Thank you. And I'm going to have it in a social hall afterwards. And so I created a puzzle. It's a big heart, and it says C, S, and L. And so I'll have it in there, and if you feel like this place has been a fit for you, a niche, just go ahead and sign your name around the letters, and it'll be in there, okay? So here's the CSL puzzle, and hopefully you guys will feel that, you have some sort of niche here, some fit, and you can sign this afterwards. Thank you. So I wanted to end this and then go into a short meditation by going back to when I talked about first coming, to this country. And I'm glad for all the experiences I've had, whether I've seen them as challenging or good or whatever judgment I gave to them. But I feel like that's what helped me to grow and to find my niche and to find my place in life. So I just want to say that even when things are really tough, when it's rough, try to appreciate all of your experiences, because that does create the big picture. That is what creates and fills in this whole puzzle of life. So I'd like you to now take some deep breaths. If you wouldn't mind closing your eyes, I invite you to close your eyes. And as you take some deep breaths, just follow that breath into your body. And I know we hear this all the time, breathing, breathing, breathing is so important. But you know that it is, so don't be afraid to take a nice deep breath and to make a lot of noise when you release it as you breathe out. And as you follow that breath into your body, allow yourself to drift to that quiet space within. And if thoughts come into your mind, just acknowledge them for what they are. You don't have to respond or do anything about it right now. And once you're in that quiet space within, to me, this is the gem, this is the gold, this is where everything you're looking for, everything you're seeking, all the answers, this is where you will find it. So take a moment and just think about whether it's a relationship, intimate or friendship, a job, a group, some place that you're trying to figure out right now, to figure out where you fit, to find your niche. And hold that image of that person, that place, that thing, whatever it is. And as you hold that image in your mind, ask yourself, does this situation make me happy? Am I experiencing joy? Or does it feel like I'm having to give up part of myself and it just doesn't feel quite right? But your higher self knows. And if you received a clear picture, the answer, then ask for support. Remember, everything is here to help us. Everything. Ask and you shall receive. So ask for that support, because we can have the answer, we can have that clear picture, but sometimes it becomes difficult for us to now, in this physical world, to make the choices. So ask for support and the strength to make your next move that will help you find your niche. And the joy that comes with finding where you fit. Remember that you're all a very important part of this puzzle. We're in this together, and so it is. Thank you. All right. Thank you.
All right, one more time for Ann Fernandez.